My name is Sah Akwen Nancy. I work with the Regional Institute for Population Studies, University of Ghana. We are working in 3 coastal communities in Accra, and the communities are Jamestown, Abobloshi, and Ushertown. We think there is a general knowledge gap on the impact of climate change on the livelihoods of people who live in coastal communities. Hence, our project is looking at the link between changing temperatures and rainfall on people's food security. And by food security, we're looking specifically at the fishery sector, because people in coastal communities depend a lot on fisheries for their livelihoods. And we are also looking at the impact of climate change on malaria prevalence in these communities. We hope to get information that we would be able to provide to stakeholders, well, the policymakers, the local government, and the people on the impact of climate change on their lives, and that such information would inform the kind of actions that need to be taken either by the communities concerned or the local government, so as to help people minimize their exposure to the impact of climate change. One of the things we found out is that mosquitoes are now beginning to adapt and to breed in other habitats. Normally, we know they are more comfortable in clean and shallow water, but now they are beginning to breed even in dirty water. That will have implication on the malaria prevalence in that particular community. And then with the changing rainfall patterns, and we have other conditions in the communities. For example, if you don't have a good drainage system, and there are heavy onsets of rainfall, you're at risk of flooding. We had a dialogue with community members, and we tried to find out from them what we could do to help them, to help reduce their exposure. And they proposed we could provide them waste bins, and they were quite willing to contribute to the waste collection and disposal. So we provided bins for them, and we also trained them on separation of organic and inorganic waste, and we also constructed drains in the community. And again, we are very pleased with the participation of the community, because they have been willing at every stage to contribute in one way or the other. And it's very interesting because all this is being done by young people, so it helps them to generate income. For example, they are compensated for going from door to door to collect the waste, and they have been trained to separate this waste. So with the organic waste, they are able to produce organic manure, which they sell. And then you have this plastic papers they also get and sell. There are a couple of recycling companies in the community, and they are able to sell it to them and get some income for it. And it's, apart from their personal use, it creates sustainability for the project, because the people feel like they own this thing and they see the benefits for them and their communities. And they are willing to pay as well. The fact that they are willing to pay shows that they are committed to seeing this project last. We also found that there has been a significant decrease in the amount of fish that has been caught, primarily because the availability of fish depends much on rainfall and the temperatures. And even the fishers themselves told us the higher the temperatures, the less fish they would catch. And another challenge is because of the shifting rainfall patterns. If they are not able to predict the onset of the rainy season and when it ends, then it makes it difficult for them to know when to go for fishing. And it's a challenge because some of them actually borrow money. It's a business. You borrow to invest in this, and if you go and you don't get the catch that you're expecting, it becomes a challenge. We think it would be helpful if we had some way of forecasting the onset of the rains and when it's going to end, so we can provide this information to fishermen so they can know exactly when they should go and catch their fish, and they can know exactly the time frame within which they have to catch different species of fish. That would be very helpful. And of course, we would need to be able to equip the fishermen with ways with other skills, so that they can be able to have other livelihoods, so that they don't have to depend exclusively on fishing. We think our findings are very useful for the community, first and foremost for the communities involved, because of the awareness it's created in them and their commitment to reduce their own exposure to the impacts of climate change. Like I mentioned earlier, some communities are now willing to pay for waste collection and disposal. That's very interesting, I think. And secondly, policymakers would be interested in our information as well, because the findings would help inform the kind of decisions they would make with regards to helping these communities adapt to some of the changes they're experiencing, and to know what interventions might be appropriate for every community.